Hello, Trouties. This is Sierra with Manic Trout. I'm trying a new format with my phone right now, so if you actually see that this is sideways, I don't know, maybe I should just turn it. I don't know, is it working sideways? I don't know. Sometimes, the older we get, the worse we are with the technology. I kind of want to just do this. Okay, I'm going to just do this. I apologize if it's really weird, but I just don't know that it worked. So then when I replay, I can actually see it. Okay, so today with the Facebook Friday live video. What did I call it last week? Friday Facebook Live. Yeah, good words. I am going to do a story about Manic Trout, how it got started. And as we have kind of made a little tradition here on Fridays, I'm going to be showing you how some of the pieces look in real life while I'm chatting endlessly away. So for those of you who are new, a little makeup splash going on, I am Sierra Bailey. I am the designer, the maker, the creator, the owner, the everything. I am the Manic Trout. So welcome to the live viewing here. Now, the beauty of the Facebook Live video is that you can actually watch this at any time. So you probably are not watching live, but if you are watching live, please feel free to ask questions, give comments. I can reply to them. And if you're watching a little bit later, I do read them all and I will reply to you. And, we can start up a lovely conversation right there in the comments. As always, I am available at the Manic Trout Facebook page, on Instagram, also at Manic Trout, and the website for the whole brand is manictrout.com. So let's talk about the history of Manic Trout. I get asked a lot why the business is named Manic Trout, so that will come up as well. And I will start off by saying that today I'm going to be wearing a selection of pink pieces. I'm starting out with the, I think it's the Natalia Miss Narcissist necklace and the matching bracelet. I will say that when I designed these pieces, I had, as I do very often, people that work in mind. So great with, like I'm wearing a pink dress that it looks very nice with, great with a suit, shirts, things like that. As I know a lot of you do have to dress a little more conservatively. What I didn't see happening was that all of the colors of the bracelet, this is the Natalia, which is rose quartz. There are 4 stones available, Miss Narcissist collection. I live in these bracelets. I wear one of these bracelets every day. The chain is actually gold-plated aluminum, which I was a little hesitant to try because it sounds weird, and it is amazing. It is very lightweight and beautiful, and it does not tarnish. It is so comfortable to wear. So I wanted to show this piece, what it looks like on, because off-center with the chain, it's hard to show it. Tell you that the bracelets are awesome, and I'm actually wearing all the bracelets of what I'll be showing you, so I didn't have to fiddle with them. But wonderful collection that is hard to kind of show not on a person, so I wanted to show that. So let's start with the story of Manic Trout. I, as a little kid, I like to joke around. I think I might have it in my profile on the website. I actually, one summer, I must have been like middle school aged, I took all of my grandmother's sewing scraps. My grandmother, my dad's mom, is incredibly creative, and she had been doing embroidery and sewing from a very young age. I learned a few things. I love to embroider. I do not like to sew, and I enjoy kind of the design aspect more than the necessarily making of a lot of things except for jewelry. So I, one summer at her house, collected her scraps of quilting fabric, and I made scrunchies. No judgment, this was the 80s. Scrunchies were really cool then. Yeah. So I made hundreds of them, and I sold them at something that was happening in my dad's town in New Hampshire, and I had a great time. And it kind of gave me a little taste of the, oh, I enjoy making these things, and I can actually sell them, and that's pretty cool. So this stayed in the back of my mind. I made thousands of friendship bracelets over the years. I was a huge friendship bracelet maker. I loved the knotting. I loved the colors. That's also why the scrunchie thing happened. It was the fabrics and the colors that I loved so much. So fast forward, I'm in high school. I'm, of course, doodling things and drawing all the time. I did a lot of art in high school. Applying to college, I ended up applying and going to architecture school, where I was for she is, she's still alive, Cheryl. She is 89 right now, and she is an amazing woman. My grandmother is phenomenal. She got me into the bug of the making things for sure. So in college, first year architecture school, there were things about it that I enjoyed. I naturally have spatial relation, that skill. There were things about it that I did not like. Like I had to take an entire class on drawing straight lines, and it was horrible. It is not the way my brain works. So I transferred to art school and ended up majoring in 3D animation, which was the mid-90s, early 90s, and it was in the engineering school and the art school. So it was very technical still. I liked that part about architecture. I just wanted a little more creative, and being in art school, my electives could be more creative. So during the side of all of this very technical art, I ended up continuing. I learned from a few friends of mine in high school how to make some jewelry. At the time, this was the mid-90s, very metal. Like that was when like the Tiffany's Elsa Peretti heart came out, things like that. That was like the trend. It was very silver and gold maybe mixed together. I'm laughing at Charles' comment. Not a lot of color. And I love color, as you know, if you were a fan of Manic Trout. So I started making colorful jewelry to wear for myself in high school and in college as a way to kind of have a break from all of the technicalness that I was doing in school. I was making jewelry like in my dorm room and things like that and selling it to a lot of the people like on my hall. I then actually pitched to a local store and ended up selling stuff to them. A few more stores asked if I would sell the stuff I was wearing, and at the time I was kind of like, nah, I mean, I like doing this, but I don't really have time, or I don't want to get into it right now. Again, this is like another little nugget in my head. Upon graduating from college, I was a painting minor, and I will admit that for much of my life, I wanted to be, I wanted to paint. It is a very difficult world to paint. And even before, when I graduated from college, it was years before Etsy and anything like that. And even at that point, I knew that to paint, you basically have to sell in a gallery. So there's only so many gallery shows you're going to get each year. Even the phenomenal painters don't get that many. So I knew it would be very difficult to actually make a constant living as a painter. I was realistic with that, hence the going to school for 3D animation. But I also, thank you, Cheryl. I didn't want to like sit. It was when animation was starting to be farmed out to India, and I didn't really want to sit in a basement in what was a kind of a booming time, or maybe it was the fall of the boom, like in Silicon Valley and code. So I figured a way that I could kind of combine these loves would be to start a business that I sold my paintings and I did website design and things like this. So while kind of looking into this kind of business, I worked for an artist, and I was their studio assistant, and this is right out of college, and I assisted at a gallery. And I very quickly learned that I did not want to be a painter. That's what all of that taught me. I painted as a hobby for a long time, but I did not want to dive right into that. So I focused on web page design, and this was in the early 2000s, and I was still making jewelry. So an opportunity came up to have a show. People were buying jewelry off of me, basically. This was, like I said, before Etsy, before anything like that. To market, I was basically word of mouth. I had a website. I actually had a website that I could sell on, and at that time it was pretty crazy. You were like programming the card in. There was no way to tell if you could sell out, anything like that. But I was getting the most attention for my jewelry. Soon after that, I decided to stop doing web design because I wasn't enjoying it all that much, and focus on jewelry and painting, which I still kind of did. But I started doing like sell prints of my paintings. So then I think it was right when, like end of 2005, 2006, Etsy came about. And this was a wonderful thing to happen to handmade people in the United States because it gave validity to those of us that made things and sold things by hand. And it was like the maker movement started. And I met many, many, many wonderful, mostly women in this field who I still call my great friends and am very connected with, either in real life, which I've met many of them, or online still. So Etsy, even though that was not like a platform that I sold a lot on, I've always been on it, but I focused on my own website due to my background. Etsy did so much for many of us, and there was like the beginning of it all happening. So I ended up getting some press, and I gathered more and more kind of customers. A few 2 or 3 years after that, I was in the Real Simple Gift Guide at Christmas, and that was huge. That showed me so many things that were horrible about how I was running the business, and restructured and rebranded, and learned a great deal from that. And I still have a lot of you, actually, I think, out there found me originally that way. It was just such a large audience that I reached. And then I kind of like rebuilt. I decided that it was time to leave the painting behind to focus on the jewelry. And that was about 2009 or 2010. That's when I started really focusing on being like a professional designer, and not just being somebody that makes and puts everything that I make online. So I think probably the bulk of you that are Manic Trout fans came kind of after that phase, because that's when I started really becoming more professional about it, and approaching it more professionally rather than approaching it as an artist and as a maker. Although it is amazing how many of you know me from before then too, which I love, and I'm so grateful that you all have been following this adventure. So at that point, I rebranded again. I would say for all brands, you rebrand a lot as time goes on. And I, like I said, I stopped painting. My website became more professional, kind of reached the next level. I started doing actual collections 4 times a year, and I started putting a lot of thought into them and things like that. And then I came down to Austin, Texas in the middle of all of this. Mind you, I had a day job through all of this. I was, somehow I ended up, I was the general manager of restaurants for a long time. So I was able to put everything I was making back into the business from the business, which is great. It was pretty wonderful growth. During this time, I ended up going down to Austin, Texas from New York, where I had lived, and I met my now husband and moved down here in 2011. And I, at that point, was able to go full-time and focus really on Manic Trout 100%. And that brought a great deal of new opportunities, and it brought, I'm just going to press this button because my battery's low, and it brought a whole new level of what I was able to do and to grow it. And that probably was what catapulted. I then partnered with Jewelment for a while, and with Joss and Main and things like that, where so many of you have now come and found Manic Trout that way. So that kind of brings us up. I also did trade shows, and I will say through that entire span, I think I signed with my first publicist in like 2006 or 5 even, a long time. I think 2006 in that spring. So you know, and I go kind of in and out of doing that on my own and trying different things. And, you know, it's very interesting because I will say over the course of the 14 years that I've had this business, I have tried so many things. I've failed at so many things. It's interesting. Sometimes you fail at things and then you try them again later and they do really well, or you try something and it did really well and then later you fail again. So, you know, as with any business, it's up and down and a wild ride. And I am amazed that it is still going so strong, and I think every year it just gets better. So that's the history of Manic Trout. That's the history of how I came to be here today, and how, you know, I strive to have a lifestyle business. I strive to have a business that I can live the life that I want to live, and, you know, I'm not looking to be a startup type business where I'm trying to be huge and then sell it. I love doing what I'm doing, and I really enjoy being a part of the day-to-day of it. My favorite thing is the people that I meet doing this, and how many of you I've connected with, and how many I still will connect with. So I am going to remain doing what I'm doing. That is the goal. But the great thing about these Friday things is that not only do you get to hear that, but you get to see me and actually, you know, I get to kind of explain all of this. Hey, Manny! Hopefully I'll get to see you again next week. It's been a few weeks. So I am going to now kind of chat along and show you a few more pieces of jewelry. And I would like to note that I really try very hard to make it so that your jewelry, when you're wearing it and doing things, is not loud. Note that I'm wearing 4 bracelets right now, and they're banging into each other, bracelet stacks. They're loud. That's the truth. They, you know, bang against each other. But on their own, these are not very loud pieces of jewelry. So I've shown you the Miss Narcissist necklace, and that is the double strand that I have on. You know, my little vanity here. I have my hair down today. The ponytail really is more effective for showing the jewelry, but you know, my hair looks cuter when it's down. I have to admit that. You do know though that now you're seeing that even with the curly hair, you don't get stuck in the jewelry. And the bracelet we already talked about. If you missed out on that, you can just go back to the beginning of this very long live video today. So the next one that I'm going to show is the Zynga First Light necklace. This necklace I really enjoy because, where's the clasp of it? It is long, and it is probably around 32 inches. I don't have the number on me. So very, very long. Remember everybody, disclaimer, I'm 5'2". Things are much longer on me than they may be on you. So the other wonderful thing about this necklace is that it doubles beautifully, which those of us that are short, I prefer to wear this doubled personally because long it goes down to my waist and that's just not. So this is the the necklace. There you go. So this is a double. And I actually wear it doubled two ways. Sometimes I do, you know, it can go a little longer if my neckline is lower, and then I wear it actually all the time with this dress. I love this combination. And look how nice it looks. I love it. So the bracelet that goes with this is also on. Beautiful on its own or together. And I want to show, because I think people get a little weird about the bar clasp. I can do it one-handed. It just takes a little practice. So a toggle clasp is definitely easier to put on yourself, but it's not as secure. The bar clasp I love, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to put on. Oh, I've twisted it. Okay, so it just is, see there's like a little bump, and that has a slide. So you're just, the slide goes over where the chains are. See how that goes? And it's really easy to put it on, and it's more secure. It locks. So see, clicks. That's nice. So that's what the bar clasp looks like, which I use on a few of the pieces because I like them. They're pretty, and I feel just to me, I like a little bit more secure. It's hilarious. Some of you say, no, I want something that's really secure, and some of you say, no, I feel trapped in it. I don't want anything that's secure. So it's a personal preference. This set is also available in a lovely blue and green, very tropical for our summer. I mean, you know, blues and green, they don't really go out of style, but they're great for summer. And these are the First Light necklace and bracelet. Now, this is the Kayla, I'm horrible at pronouncing, the Summer Noon necklaces, and I wanted to show these on because I wanted to talk a minute about the agate slices. This is why I'm an online business, so I don't have to pronounce things. So each of these slices, and there's also the Tropical Oceans necklaces that have rose quartz in a different cut, and they have this slice. Every single one of these is different. They're unique. They're like snowflakes. They're individual, like each of you trouties. So know that the one that would be in the picture is not the one that you will be getting, but it is very similar. And that's one of my favorite parts about these pieces, because every single one you get it makes it your own, which I enjoy. I like, this again has the aluminum chain like the Miss Narcissist pieces. I really enjoy the lightweightness, and it's comfortable, which is key. But it also, if a stone this size goes around the back, it does get heavier, and I like the light weight of it combined. There is also a matching bracelet, which I am wearing here. See, again, see how each one's different. They're all pink with fuchsia in them, but they are each different. And I would like to point out, I not only am short, medium size, but I am somebody that enjoys, I wear a loose watch. I like my bracelets to be a little loose. I completely understand if you don't. All you have to do is look at the size. I make all the jewelry, so just look at the size of the necklace or bracelet, and if you feel you want it longer or shorter, let me know. I can easily adjust them. No problem. That is something that, you know, I like to reiterate because it's such an easy fix. If you feel like something's too short, I can make it longer. The last one that I will be showing you today is I can't remember the first name of this one. What do we got here? The Sealy Parfait Triage necklace. There are 4 of these necklaces in different colors. I love these. These are very fun necklaces. And I think that if you have been following along for a while, the bright pink is the most popular. It's like a fuchsia or hot pink with an orange on the back. So this has 3 strands and is adjustable, so it can be another inch longer easily. You can also kind of, you can twist it a little bit when you put it on if you want it to be more not flat against you. It depends on how you like to wear it. There, like that can be done, so it's a little more relaxed. There's a bracelet that goes with that one as well. This one's a little louder, so I know some offices you can't have loud jewelry, so note that that bracelet does make noise, but the necklace doesn't really move, so that doesn't make any noise. And these fabulous hoop earrings I'm wearing, which are the emotional rescue earrings, are actually complemented to go with these pieces. So see, you could wear those together with this together. And hey, whatever you want to do, I now make everything so they kind of have sets and have matches. No judgment. If you want to wear all 3 at once, I probably would wear like studs with that, but the more I see this together, it works really well. So my first hesitation is like, no big earrings and big necklace, but hey, if you can work it, especially, like when my hair is like this, you would have no idea what my earrings look like. So if you have big hair, I say go for all of them together. They look fun. But I know everybody kind of enjoys that aspect of the videos, and I want to give you a chance to see them on a very short person in real life. I'm small. You always have to remember that if you're taller than I am. But I want you to get a chance of how the jewelry wears, because when you look at jewelry online, it can look lovely in a picture, but what does it really look like in person? That's always the big question. So I'm now down to no bracelets, which means I've shown you all of the jewelry to show you today. And I've told you the story of Manic Trout and how it came to be. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love Facebook Live Fridays. I think I've said it 3 different ways now. You can, of course, go back to the beginning if you want to watch the whole thing. It will be available on the Manic Trout Facebook page forever. You can comment. I always love to have a nice conversation with any of you Trouties online. You can message me. You can email me. Sierra@manictrout.com. You can find everything at manictrout.com, and you can follow along on both the Manic Trout Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter, although I don't think any of you actually are on Twitter with me. That's okay. And I cannot wait to chat with you again next Friday. Thank you so much, Trouties. Have a great weekend.